What's up, world? Plant Savvy is here with yet another fun, informative video for my plant parents out there. And without any hesitation, let's get right into it. We're going to be repotting the Calathea Ornata plant. I've had it for about 2 weeks. Thank you to my love for getting that. Mwah. Thank you. And I am going to be repotting this today, showing you how to repot it, all of the care tips that you can use when you have one of these high maintenance plants for the 2024. Let's see what we can do with it, if you will. My plant family, thank you for tuning in. We are going to repot it into one of these babies right here. You know, I'm thinking I'm going to go with the larger pot. But I gotta get it out of this pot in order to see what those roots are doing. So it's a small pot, little mess, you know. So let's get down in there and see what we're working with. Okay. You see that? This right here, that thing I do not like. And that is why I'm happy I have this, because this is some kind of netting that they put on the root of the plant. That is not good. It's restricting the roots and just all kind of bad stuff. Don't do that. Don't. As soon as you see that, take this off of your plant when you get it from the store that you bought it from. So we're gonna get that off of there immediately, so we can let it breathe. You know, the Calathea, any Calathea plant you're gonna have is very sensitive. Notice the thin leaves here. They're beautiful. You have that unique color of purple below the leaves. But notice also the leaves are very thin. When you have thin leaves like this, that means that they can really be sensitive to light, which they are. So you want a low to indirect lighting type of setting for these here type of plants. What I have here in this here study, I have the west facing window, which it can sit in and enjoy that morning light. You do not want it in a south facing window. Don't do that. You want it in a east facing window, or like I say, the west facing window, low to indirect light, so the plant does not have a searing on these nice leaves here. All right. If you have high light levels, these pinkish, you see the pink right there? They have very great colors on the leaves, and I love it. But that pinkness will start to fade away when you have it in too much of a direct source of light. Kind of like an indicator. Okay? And also with these here roots, I'm gonna get in here and I'm going to get this old soil off of there. In fact, I'll keep a little bit, because the root seems to like it, you know? Yeah, they're healthy roots, you know? You got that nice coloration to the roots, so they're still healthy, good. So I'm gonna keep that going. And now that I can see, let me take this out. Hola. So now that I can see the roots and the size of them, is gonna help me choose which container I put it in. You see, I have some options here. And judging the size of the root, I'm gonna put it in the smaller clear container. Whoop, whoop, whoop. I'm gonna put it in the smaller clear container so that it can concentrate more on giving life to these beautiful leaves and not so much on the growth of the root. Of course, it's gonna have healthy root growth, and they also develop rhizomes. I love that. They develop rhizomes. How cool is that? Yeah. So I'm gonna fill this up halfway with soil, like I always do. And I am going to use the same method and fill the rest of it up with soil to finish off the repotting. Put that over there. Now, when it comes to the type of soil, that I'm using, this is a chunky mix. Chunky, yeah. All right. Now, the chunkiness in this soil, will allow for good drainage. And I also have a moisture retention type of soil mixed in that so that it'll maintain the moisture but not sit in water. You don't want that. I'm telling you, this is a chunky mix right here. So I'll have to go around, you know. Uh-oh. All right, so I'm just gonna take the soil, push it down, you know, like so. Getting it ready. And I'll put a little bit more in there. Take out these huge sticks and, you know. There we go, there we go. And because the type of plant that it is, it does not like any kind of insect, no bugs, no pests. So what I'm gonna do with this soil, what I am going to mix in it to prevent the, you know, fungus gnats, they are a nuisance. So we gotta kick them out of there. I'm gonna use the mosquito bits. Yes. And what this does, it takes care of, if you can see it. See, this here takes care of the fungus gnats, the larvae, the eggs that the fungus gnats will, you know, get down in the soil and plant. When you mix this within the soil and water it, it kills them off and it keeps them at a limited amount. You basically want to use this type of pest control when you're dealing with a sensitive plant like this. So I'm just gonna mix a little bit of this in the soil. Pest control. Yes. So I'm actually gonna mix this in. All right, so I'm just gonna mix this here into the soil. There we go. Pest control under control. What I'm gonna try and do is to make a little indentation. And of course, clear containers. We got plenty of drainage holes, you know, so it won't be sitting in water. So I'm just trying to make a spot for it. You know, we have plenty of drainage, little rocks within the soil mix that I have here that's made for retention with plenty of chunkiness to it. And I'm just going to, I'm gonna plop that baby right there, right there, okay? Gonna finish filling it up with additional soil. Wow. All right. And I try to center it as much as I can while doing this. So we got it all nice and centered right there. Yes, it's starting to look good to me. I like how it looks right there. So, and you know you gotta Bop, bop. Get them air pockets out of there. Get the air pockets when you knock it, remember. Yes. And you just want to make sure you have the entire, all of the roots covered. So I'm going to bring this soil to the top here. So the Calathea plant is from South America, you know, rainforest, so it really likes the humidity, the moisture in its natural environment. And one way to get that additional moisture, if you don't want to mist it so much, a good technique that you can use to maintain moisture is to gather it around with other plants, you know, so they can have a ecosystem of allowing moisture to get to all of them, which is a good idea because there's no way that we can mimic the actual rainforest in South America that this plant was in. You just can't do it. We turn our heat up, AC down all the time in our home, so you have to do the best you can with maintaining the moisture within the soil so that it's not too moist, but after the first top part of the soil gets dry, you want to give this baby a nice water while making sure that it drains all the way out. Calathea Ornata. Yes, Ornata. And I said yes, although it's a very needy, high maintenance type of plant. It's Calathea Ornata. I never thought it, but here we are. I am almost to 1 year with this Green Life project, Plant Life, and with this beautiful, it is gorgeous, but I'm telling you, it comes with a lot of care that is required. Say for instance, like I say, you can't have it come near to, you know, being overwatered. It will kill the leaves. They're very thin, they're very sensitive leaves, and if you have direct bright light, it will burn the leaves and they'll start to curl. So these type of plants will tell you when they're having a tough day, when they're not happy. Like say for instance, this leaf right here, yeah, that leaf right there is not having it. That leaf is like, nah, you better do something better if you want me to live. So just keep that in mind. They do not like pests at all, so that's why I put the mosquito bits inside of the soil, mixed it in, as well as put it on top of the soil there. And I think that will control the pests that I do not like to see, the fungus gnats. Get out of here. Crispy edges. I'm gonna just call this one crispy because it'll get crispy edges if you overwater it. It'll get crispy, little yellow if you need to water, underwater it. So just keep in mind that first top layer of the soil here, when it's dry, just give it some water. You know, it likes to maintain moisture, but don't have it sitting in water at all. I'm waiting to see the rhizomes. I did not have any rhizomes developing just yet with the root growth when I did the repotting. So I'm curious to see how the rhizomes look. You know, of course you have your Raven ZZ. That's the first plant that I experienced seeing rhizomes. And this root system here, I have it in a clear planter. And I think it's gonna really show me some things that I've never seen. This is a new leaf. This is a new plant for the 2024. We're gonna get into some of the more difficult plants. So if you are a beginner with this here Plant Life, growing plants, I would not suggest this plant at all because it does require, you know, a lot more, you know, high maintenance, yeah, now. With watering it, water runs through the cells of the plant, all right? And when it has less water running through the cells, it shrivels up. and those cells within the leaves show you, hey, I'm thirsty. And if you overwater it, like with any other plant, it'll kind of leak some moisture off the leaves. While that cannot be a big problem with the Monstera deliciosa, because it's just something that it does with the moisture within the environment. It shows you by having a little bit of drip from the leaf that it has consistent moisture. And it's all about consistency when you're dealing with this plant. You have to have consistent moisture, and pay attention to it. Pay attention to the leaves. You want to wipe these leaves off with a damp rag, or better yet, a damp napkin, I would say weekly, so that it can absorb all of the light, nutrients, all of that photosynthesis that it needs in order to thrive and grow, which is what we want as plant parents, you know? So let's just do it, you know? Quick wipe me down. It wants you to wipe me down, bow, bow. I have it in a west facing window here, and I'm gonna keep it there to maintain consistency. And of course, my plant family, thank you guys so much for the subscriptions. Thank you so much for the comments and the likes. And if you have not subscribed, please do so. I would love to connect with even more of my plant parents out there. Anybody who's interested, I'm still a beginner, if you will. I've almost reached a year with this plant life, with the continuing of planting, and I'm enjoying it tremendously. And I want to take you all on that adventure with me, and thank you for being on this fun plant green life project, all of it. Follow me, Sir Plant Savvy, on IG. And one more thing, my plant family, you know what to do, right? Do ya? Keep planting.